Hello and welcome to Kansas. Alright, we are in our tutorial world. This is probably the first and only episode. Maybe if I missed something, if you want to know more about other things. These are covering the things that I know about and have personal experience with, and I haven't really played with some of the other things. I will kind of show you what I'm talking about. I'm having a hard time getting the BuildCraft process or mod to work, so I haven't really played around with that. And I'm trying to think of what else I'm not going to cover. That way, if you're coming here looking for it, you would know to look away. Let's see here. I'm covering quite a bit. Yeah, this stuff here, the transposer filter. I'm not going to go into any of these things. Battery box, I think that's RedPower. I'll be covering RedPower. But I haven't found too much info on that. But everything else I should be covering. I'm not going to cover BuildCraft. I believe BuildCraft is part, or Mining Turtle. I can't remember what mod that's associated with. But also, before we start, I will be doing this tutorial twice. Once with the Sphax Texture Pack and once with the default Texture Pack. I know these are the two main ones, if not the only ones, and I want to give people a chance to look at this, and that way they want to cross-reference texture packs. So I'll be doing this one first, since this is the one that I use, and I'll be doing the default one right after this. Alright, so we have our nether ores here. This is diamond, you have your iron, you have your redstone, lapis, gold, coal, copper, and tin. I'm starting out with these because you're familiar with these ores, it's just the background nether rack has changed. These are, I think they are more, maybe not more abundant, but easier seen because the caves are so large and they're just sitting out there in the open. However, let me change the spec on. However, when you go to mine them, they can blow up. And if you take just enough of them, sometimes 1, sometimes 10, all the zombie pigmen will come after you. So you have to be careful of that. So makes the nether much more dangerous if you want to mine for these. Yeah, you can reap a lot, but you can also lose a lot. I would highly recommend wearing armor past diamond. I would go for the quantum suit armor or the nano suit armor. Alright, you have your copper and tin in the overworld form. You can also create the blocks. You have your tin block, and then you have your copper block. You have your emerald, ruby, sapphire ores. They're fairly common, and if I'm not mistaken, you can make tools out of these, but I believe their durability is just under diamond, and I don't believe you can mine obsidian with them. Other than that, you can, and they're good to make tools out of. You can also make armor out of them. I've never done anything with them. Or maybe you can't. Maybe I'm thinking of other gem armor. Anyway, moving on. You have your emerald, ruby, and sapphire blocks. You have your tungsten and silver ores. You cannot make a block out of silver. The only use for it that I know of, or that I find useful, is making glass fiber cables in industrial craft. And I'll be getting to that later. I'll show you the recipes for that. Tungsten ore does not have a use. However, Elorim, I believe that's how you say the name, it's been put in here that way you don't have to keep updating it. And so you have the ores in here already, and whenever they get to the point where they want to implement this ore, then they can go ahead and do it without you having to change worlds. Because obviously once you load a chunk in a world, you cannot regenerate it, at least not at least not easily. And here's a sample of the the swords, tools you can make. I just included these because that's what they look like. You put them in your inventory, boom, that's what they look like. Pretty snazzy looking. And then you have your uranium blocks. It's kind of the same, at least for Sphax, it's the same texture as that, except just green. I remember at some point you're supposed to take damage if you're next to it, but that's never happened. And then you can make a block out of uranium. Because it's not that common, but I remember, I guess after a day or two of playing, I had about a stack of it. Maybe 3 or 4 days, I don't know. But it didn't take that long, but when you come across it, it's pretty valuable because that's how you make a nuclear reactor, which I may do a separate tutorial for that. I'm definitely not covering that today. You have your interdiction torches. I believe that's how you say it. Interdiction. Sorry about that sound. Interdiction torch. You can make this. That's not what I wanted. Alright, options, recipe mode. There we go. This is how you make an interdiction torch. It seems awfully expensive for what it repels mobs. Mobs won't come within a certain radius of this. If you have diamonds and glowstone to throw away, I guess they're okay. I know you can generate them using an EMC generator, but I think I would rather just go for regular lighting to make it look more natural, or maybe not natural, but more factory-like. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. You know, add your own lighting, because this doesn't seem as realistic as I want to go for. But however, that's the recipe for it, and that's bedrock. I just use that. And let's make sure. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the chest you can make. You have your vanilla chest. You have a 3x9 grid. You have your copper chest. Gives you a 5x9 grid. This is tin chest. Let me have to check on that. Iron chest. There we go. That's what I'm missing. Iron chest is 6x9. You have your silver chest, which is a 8x9. Your gold chest, which is a 9x9. Your diamond chest and the crystal chest are the same sizes. However, with the crystal chest, you can see the item inside. I find this particularly useful, and it looks pretty cool too. And this is how you craft them. You have your, let's keep that there. Alright, you have your copper chest. So regular chest surrounded in copper. And iron chest. Same thing, but using refined iron. You can make the upgrade from a copper chest by using less refined iron and using glass. You have gold chest. So you have to have an iron chest in the middle and then do the golden outside. Or upgrade from silver, same manner. Then you diamond chest. You have your gold and 2 diamonds on the side, glass on top and bottom, or the upgrade from silver. And then you have your crystal chest, which is just a diamond chest surrounded in glass. It's a pretty cheap upgrade, and I think it's worth it. Alright, so moving along this way, we're going to talk about the Microblocks. You can make a saw like this, and you can also make the ruby, emerald, and sapphire. I want to just use diamond. This is how you make a diamond saw, and we are going to get that now. And I can kind of show you how you craft them. Let's get the cobblestone here. Let's get the full stack. There we go. So you have your saw and you have your stone there. You can create your slab. You can't do anything on the side yet. So if you want to make a thinner slab, you create a panel, and you can create a yet thinner slab, make a cover. I believe that's as far as you can go that direction. So let's get our slab again, put it on the side. You have your slab strip. Actually, let's go ahead and make use of these. Keep it all organized. And more of those. All right. So you have your slab strip. Make slab corner. I believe as far as you can go there. You have some other ones as well. So you have to cut that up like that. Make your cover strip. There we go. That makes sense. Then panel strip. And then your panel corner. Alright, that's logical layout. You can also do some cool stuff with this. Let's go ahead and make some more of this. And yeah, so you have your panels, and then you can create 3 of them. And as you can see, you can put them together. Put 2 of them together, it creates a slab again. And then you can put 3 together, it creates a triple panel. These are odd because, you know, they're irregular. So if you want something to have like an abstract texture, you can use that. Let's go ahead and create that, and you can then make a triple cover, a triple panel strip. I like the corners you can make out of these. Triple panel corners. And you really have a definite irregular shape. You see it takes up 3/4 of, I guess, the block. So you can see the grid there. Those are corners. So this is 3/4 of the whole block. And then you can then do something like that if you want. It's different, weird. You can do that and then back down over there. Or you can do what I like to do and stack them up. You can see this in my SMP world. So you put that there, that. I'm losing it. There we go. Can't remember how I did it. And that's how I did it. You have to have the back wall to place it on. You can put anything there. Like if you wanted to put glowstone there, you could. And then you can erase it if you want afterwards. Interesting look. Alright, so moving on. So you can make all these different things with it. And these are the cobblestone cover corners. This should be the panel corners. Well, that was weird. And then you have your slab corners. They take up exactly I guess 1/8 of a full block, but 1/4 of a slab. And this is a design I made just for you. And these are using the cover strips and on the cobblestone pillar. And getting the pillar, you have to, creative, get the slab strip and put it in your crafting window, and it creates a pillar. The difference of the two is that you can place the pillar in the center, whereas the slab strip has to be on the corner. So if I think I lost my saw, but you can put this in the center and it'll automatically go there. Whereas if you get let's go ahead and just get it out of here, slab strip, you can only place it, you can place it like that if you wanted to. You can also, if you find a back plate to put it on, you make it go vertically. That's the only way I know of to do that. So if I wanted to put something up here, I have to then do that and then break these. Let me know if there's another way to do that. But I'm pretty sure that's the way to do it. Alright, and these are using the, sorry, that's gotta get annoying, panel strips here. They're just a bit thicker, and then you can see how the corners connect using this column I have there. Alright, moving on to RedPower. This is your basic red alloy. Let's go ahead and get that red alloy. You can make 12 of these by getting 3 red alloy ingots, and you can get that only by using the furnaces with the RedPower mod. So if you type in alloy in this little search window, you'll come up with everything you'll need. That's, don't add W. You have your alloy furnace. We'll go ahead and make that, and we'll place that here. I believe you'll need, I'm going to need coal. However, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff here. Place that there. You can get the Blulectric alloy furnace, and it runs off solar panel, or it runs off solar power, or battery, whichever you have hooked up to it. But the panels are different than that of Industrial Craft, because when you type in solar, you get your Industrial Craft solar panels, and then you have your solar panel here, which is just for RedPower. Now I'm just making all sorts of noise over here. So we'll need, let's go like the recipe for the red alloy. Nope, don't want it. Want recipe. And so you have to have 4 redstone and 1 iron, or 4 redstone and a copper to make 1 alloy ingot. And then you can see the recipe there. You put anything that burns into that, and it creates that there. And then when you place them vertically, like so, you get your red alloy wire. Sorry. Boom, 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 boom. And then you can just attach it to anything you want to. What's cool about this is you can run it up things, like on the wall, like so, and you'll see more examples of that later on. And you can insulate these. So if you, let's go and get that. Nope. Get wool. Pick your favorite color. I'm going to pick green, lime actually. And you've put these on the outside, like so. Place that there. You get your insulated wire, and you can get that and place these side by side by any other wire, and they will not connect. So I can have a white light here and a blue light here, which I can then color code that blue. I can put a green light here and a pink light here if I wanted to. It wouldn't matter. But since you have all the cables and you can color coordinate them as well for the lamps as well, it just happens to work out that so you get your blue lights with your blue cable, white light, white cable, purple light with lamp with your purple cable. And then once you come out, you can connect it to this, and they'll run together. However, they will not run together if you have them insulated like so. This is looking at the bundled wire, bundled, am I saying it right? Bundled cable. And no matter how many bundle, or how many colors you have coming into this bundled cable. I can have, you know, another one outside there, one outside here. It'll keep to itself, like that's not the right way to say that, but you have your purple coming in here, blue and white, and it understands to separate them out in the same way. So if you have white powered coming through here, that white will continue to go on when you disconnect from the bundled cable. And then you have your blue, and then you have your purple, like that. And I believe that you can run this as far as you want to. I want to test that out real quick because I don't want to lie to you. Because I haven't had an issue with running it going too far. Alright, moment of the truth, see if I'm lying. Yep, it goes, I think, forever. Okay. You have your jacket, I'm not saying that right. Jacket, there we go. Jacketed wire, okay. I was saying it right. I chose to use lime wool for this. Nope. There's one thing I like about that. You have to click away. You have to, I'm just saying that you can run this through a hollow panel. That's what I have here. And tap in hollow here. You get all sorts of hollow panels. Let's use hollow gold. And you can put that around that, and then you can cover, or you can send things through it. Whereas you can do that, boom, turns on the light. And you make that. I've actually never made it before. I think I made it a long time ago. I'm not sure if the recipe has changed. Jacketed. There we go. Lime will cover with that in the middle. And it creates 4 of them. And you can create your lime wool cover by doing the same thing with the saw you did earlier. Alright, here's some of your redstone things that are added with RedPower. I want to have to look at the science here. That way I don't have to keep referencing in the inventory. You have your state cell. And what this does is it keeps its state. You can turn this on, and you can see this little area there turns on the lights on output 1 as well, output 8 as I'm going to call it. Turn it off, the timer goes, and then it turns it off. And then at the very end it'll send a 1-tick pulse out that way. If I can find a use for this, I will let you know. I'm sure there are plenty of uses for it, but I think they're pretty specific. I think it's mainly for computers, or actually making your own computer using redstone rather than using the BuildCraft stuff. However, what's called a state cell, you can turn this bad boy on and it keeps its state. And this one no longer does anything. However, if you turn this off when that's on, it stays on. Turn this off. After a timer, which you can right click here and set, it'll after that time it'll turn this off and send 1 tick that direction, a 1-tick pulse that direction. So if that's something you can find use for, I think making the redstone layout for that is quite expansive. You know, at least 4 or 5 blocks. Cheat. There we go. Turn it back to dawn. Here you have your timer. It's pretty simple. Once you turn, I just need to get myself organized here. Redstone. Turn. There we go. So if it's not being powered in any direction, or besides that direction, this is the output. So it's not always going to send a pulse whenever you do it that way. But if you send a power there, power to the left and to the right, it'll stop itself. It'll stop the timer. However, if it's not powered, it'll send, I believe, a 1-tick pulse which I'm not sure why that's staying on. I'm not sure if I messed it up. There we go. It's not working for me now, but it's supposed to be off. There we go. It's like that. But maybe just a little bit of lag by using fraps. It's not working right. Let's turn that off. Alright, you have your sequencer. I have it set to 10 seconds because it was driving me absolutely nuts because you can't turn it off like you can that one. But what it's going to do is when it gets to a certain side, it's going to turn it on and turn the other one where it just left off. Pretty simple. Here you have your RS latch. If you're familiar with vanilla redstone, they call it an RS NOR latch. But I think this is just an RS latch mainly because it just switches and there's nothing different about it. It doesn't negate the signal. I believe I'm saying that right. Alright, so you have your, oh my goodness, button. There we go. Your button, and it switches the output. This is, I guess you can be, once you change states, these will be different, obviously, how you name them. But, you know, output 1 is this way, so whenever this one's on, that one turns on. This is the output negative. Whenever that's on, this will turn on. This one's good because you can put a block here, like so. Let's go ahead and use red because I can run it up the side here. And I put a torch here, and that'll let me know what the state is. So it's just a nice little, so if this is on, the back one's on. So I could just use this as reference. If you're, like I said, if you're familiar with the old RS NOR latch, you can just set this as whichever one you're going to use as the input. The other one is the reset. So if I want to set that on this side, and if I input a wrong code and I want this reset, I can either come here manually reset it, or have another complicated redstone circuitry to turn it off automatically. And something I need to talk about with the red alloy wires, in order to hook them up to a block, you have to put them on the side, because as you can see here, it's not connected to it. So you need to put it up on the side for it to work, as well as send something to the edge of the block. So if I turn this on, that will not turn off as it should. However, if I put that there, the redstone torch turns off. So you have to use a little bit more of it in order to make things work, but it just makes things much simpler because you can run it along ceilings, and you can also see that in my Tekkit world. I'm using an emergency light signal where I power lights on the floor from the underside. Alright, I believe this is a NAND gate. It's an opposite of an AND gate, which is right next door. When all of these are on, it turns power off. So it's you can remember that by saying ands and that and this. So 1 and 2 and 3 equals off. Whereas over here on the AND gates, 1 and 2 and 3 equals on. So if you have, I found this to be useful if you want to set up a secret switch somewhere. You can have a pressure plate here right in front of the door, and then have 2 other switches that you have to turn on as well that are hidden. And then you step on the pressure plate, it'll open the door or turn lights on, which I have here. That's what this is. This is the X NOR gates. I can't remember what the proper way to say that. It's all one syllable, I believe. You have your, it's that. So the N will be the opposite. The NOR will be the opposite. However, but when you turn both of them off, it turns it on. So rather than the OR gates, which I think I have set up down here, it's not actually, I put it in as it's in the inventory, not how it is in the what would be logical, which but I think we can get away with doing that. So you have, so these are both set to off, which is counterintuitive when I think of a switch on up, it means on. But when these are both 0, it's off. It's on. If the inputs are unequal, it'll send it off. But however, if they're both 1 on, it turns it back on. So the NOR gate is an opposite. I guess the same as a NOT. I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for that, but correct me if I'm wrong on that. I may put up an annotation once I'm actually in front of a wiki, because that's what I use a lot of the time. But I know some people rather have it in video form, and that's what this is for. So you have your XOR gate or XOR gate. I say XOR because it sounds cool. All right. So this is the opposite of the XNOR gate. So when both inputs are equal, it turns it off, just like so. And then this is your pulse former. What it does is send out one pulse, one tick pulse. You can hit that, and it sends 1 tick. In vanilla, they made it pretty small with it using the pistons, but this is obviously quite a bit smaller. Just do that, sends 1 pulse. You have your toggle latch. This is equivalent to a T flip-flop. All you need is this 1 input here to change the state, and then this is a reference, or I use this as a reference. I can put a light here and say, okay, well, it's in that state. So if you're not having a light, but you're having another circuit somewhere else, you can see what state things are in by having this reference here. And if you happen to be in the back without the toggle thing there, you can just hit that, and it'll automatically switch for you. So pretty handy. T flip-flops can be quite large. I remember when they used to, the smallest one was a 10 by 7 area. That's pretty handy. I like that. You have your NOT gate. So you have 1 input and 3 outputs, and it'll be the opposite of the input. So if the input's on, all 3 outputs off. Pretty simple. You have your buffer gate. I have it signed here. It's the same as repeater, except it outputs 3. I say that because there's a 1 tick delay between the outputs. So if you want a repeater, but you need to have it going out 3 directions, this is, or 2. This is your gadget. You have your multiplexer. When you have 3 here, it's a toggle. 3 plus 2, however, turns it off. 1 doesn't do anything, 2 by itself doesn't do anything, but 1 and 2 turn it on, and 3 does nothing. However, you can do 3 and 1 doesn't do anything, and then 2 doesn't do anything. So you can have all 3 on, and it keeps it on. So 1 plus 2 on, 1 plus all of them on equals on, 3 equals on, and then 2 plus 3 equals off. I'm sure there's a lot of different things you can do with that. I've never played around with it, so I have no personal experience with it. You have your transparent latch. This is a weird, I couldn't find any info on this, so I had to just hash it out myself. But you turn 1 and 2 on. 1 will toggle like that. If you do 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1, it stays on. No matter what you do with that, turns it off. And then 2 will, whenever clicked on and off, it'll turn it off. So, but you do 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2. We'll keep it off. So I guess 1 plus 2 plus 1 will equal off. But you know, again, you're just toggling on and off again at that point. So that was a weird one. Don't really know much about that. Now you have your invert cell. I've never used this either. What it does, that the parts coming across will be the opposite as what's coming through. So if you turn, I guess you can see that there at the very top of the screen. You can see that it'll invert, but there's 1 tick delay as well. So this signal keeps going through straight as on, and it'll invert going across. As you can see in this texture pack, you can actually see what it does. There's a small torch there, and when that's on, it'll turn that on. But whenever the torch is turned off, like when you do this, like normal, it turns it off. So it looks logical. I like it. I don't know too much of use for it, and it's a specialty type of thing. Set it to dawn again. You have your non-invert cell. It's the opposite of that. There's just a 1 tick delay between what goes left and right and what goes straight. Then you have your counter. I like this one. It's something I will probably use whenever I start automating a nuclear reactor. Whenever it gets to a certain point, because I want to make a Mark III reactor, and where it's, if you let it run until it drains the uranium, it'll blow up. It'll make a big crater, and you don't want that because it'll run everything. So if you put a counter and a timer set up and everything, I believe I can set that up. But what's cool about this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have this set to where the maximum count is 5. I'm not sure you can probably go up as far as you wanted to, so you can have a lot there. And then you can have increment of 2, so if you like the song 1 step forward, 2 steps back, that's what that is. However, I can hit this 5 times, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my reference torch turns back off because it's set at 0. And if you set that, you can see where this has moved off. So that little stone pointer, as you have to make those, you can actually see what's going on. However, you can utilize these bottom 2 like so. So I can put this in 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll turn that on. However, I can do a full reset, and it turns it back off. And so that's pretty useful. And obviously, you can just like okay, how far can you count? I don't know, but you can have some really cool automated things. If you want something to send signal after it gets so many signals, that's what you need to use. Alright, I'm not going to show you the recipes for those because that'll be an hour video. You can, because I know on the server I play on, which is the majority of the people that are viewing this, I believe, you'll have this set up on the side and you'll be able to click it and be able to show the recipes. And I would highly recommend you do that for everything. But if you want to know how something works, I recommend going to the wiki, especially if I don't explain it all here, which I'm hoping I can. Alright, moving on to Industrial Craft. I believe that's where this comes in. This is a crafting table 3. I can't remember which mod it comes from, but anything you have in your inventory, you'll be able to see what you can craft. So I have this list here of things I can build, and I just put these things here because that's what I wanted to make. This is the all the raw materials you will need to create a redstone engine. And then you can click that and it'll use up the resources. So if you're making a lot of things and you won't want to waste your mouse by doing all the clicking, you can just put all the items you need into your inventory, and then you can shift click on, like, say, redstone engine. I'll have the materials for one, and that's all I needed. So it's pretty useful. It saves your mouse, I know, a lot, rather than building an actual crafting table and then putting everything in there manually. It's probably the most efficient way to make solar panels. Once you get all the materials in your inventory, you can just sit there and just make solar panels as much as you want. However, I know in my world I have a automated system of doing that, to where I don't have to do anything at all except go down there and pick them up. And I'll show you some of the automation I included in that a little bit later over there. Alright, we are in BuildCraft now, and which that may be where this came from too, I don't know. And this is also a demonstration that redstone will also connect to red alloy. Pretty cool. You have your redstone engine, you have your steam engine, and you have your combustion engine. The difference between all of them is that they pull a different amount. I've got nothing in that yet, so that will not start whenever I give it power. So what we'll need to do is, oh, look at that, beautiful. I have this system set up to where it'll automatically give this thing coal. It'll keep putting out coal until it starts dropping out here. However, you can put a different system up in where it'll collect coal, where you can send more into that, and whenever it doesn't come out, you can send it to a different direction. I know I'm not making a lot of sense, but if you're wanting to do that, you'll know what to do. So I have this redstone engine not facing toward this because I placed the engine down first, and you can remedy that by making a wrench, like so. You press R over anything, and you can see the crafting solution for it. And to make a stone gear, you have to make a wooden gear, which you can then, let's see, backspace, yeah, there we go. And then surround that by cobble to make a stone gear. And then put iron in a Y fashion, you get your wrench. And we need it, actually. So this is your BuildCraft wrench, and if you placed something down and you want to move it in BuildCraft, such as engines or iron pipes, I can move these like that. Iron pipes will send things in one direction. So if I have something, if I had pipes coming down into this one, and I wanted to come to this engine here, I could do that with this current setup. But however, with this, you can see the solid plating there and there. What's pumping out from this chest will not go up into this chest because I have coal here that I only want to send to here. I don't want to send this coal up to there because this coal is solely for this engine. However, if I did that, it will not send it to the engine, it will send it straight up to this chest. So I want to keep it there, but one click with the wrench here will face this in the right direction. Same as for this. This is a combustion engine. It requires both fuel of some sort. You can put lava, you can put oil, and you can put fuel into it. And I want to go ahead and just pump it all into there using this system. This is a wooden waterproof pipe, which you can see here. Waterproof. Nope. Don't think I need anything else. There we go. So you get your wooden transport pipe, which you can craft like so. It makes 8 of them. Puts cacti. When you put cactus in a furnace, it comes out as the green dye. I think it's what you call it, or some kind of cactus solution. I can't remember what it is. Yeah, cactus green. Yeah, there it is. You can craft that. That's not what I wanted. And you put that in your crafting bench just one at a time at a 1-to-1 ratio. It creates your pipe waterproof, and that way you can transport liquids, which fuel, water. That's what I have coming out of here. These are not on the verge of exploding, but they're just at the point where they can't gain any more energy because this water pipe is filled up, and this is filled up with water, so there's not really nowhere for the energy to go. However, you don't have to worry about redstone engines blowing up unless you have them connected to each other. But I think there's a bug right now to where they don't blow up at all, which is a good thing, because I've had many explosions using the combustion engines, and they make a pretty good explosion, I can tell you. But we're going to go ahead and fill this up with fuel by doing that. And then this redstone engine just requires redstone, but it, for every one pump it does, and it stays true to what it's showing you. So every time it comes out and pulls, it goes one. I think it produces 1 MJ of energy, which is a Minecraft joule. And I can right click here and you can see that filling up. Each tank will hold 16 buckets. I put, I think, 18 buckets of fuel into it, so it came up a little bit into the second tank there. And it's going to pump all of it into it, or it's going to pump as much as it needs to. And make it day again. So once you get that going, we're going to turn this on as well. We're going to start getting some coal pumped in. But the reason for this, I want to show you the difference of what these things can do. Once this gets coal, you can see it's pumping into it just fine. We're going to turn all these on at the same time. You can see the combustion engine starts off at a pretty fast pace already, but it's pumping these out one stack at a time. Whereas this is, I think it's pumping it out 12 or 52 at a time, looks like. This poor old redstone engine is only sending 1 at a time. So you can see we got 2 there already. We got almost 3 stacks. Then we've got, you know, half the chest filled up. So if you're wanting to move a lot of items fast, you'll want to use this. However, you have to have fuel to pump into it. You'll have to have water to pump into it. These are a lot more trouble. I worry about them a lot, especially on SMP. If I go out of the area, sometimes the water won't pump into it and they blow up. So you have to make sure that anything they're connected to is not too valuable, or you have them away from all your chests and everything. So that's something you have to worry about. I've never had to worry about steam engines blowing up. I just use one, and redstone engines are meh. But I think you can make redstone engine farms, and I think that you can do a lot of stuff with that. But you have to have like 50 some odd engines, and what that does is give you a lot of lag without that much power. All right, let's show you a little bit more what you can do with this. All right, I recollected myself. You've got a wooden transport pipe, which is required to put anything out of a chest. You have your stone pipe. It's once things are sped up by a gold pipe, it'll keep its speed for longer rather than using a cobblestone pipe. I didn't realize this till today, but cobblestone and stone pipes do not connect, so you can run them side by side and they won't interfere with each other. However, I would rather just use iron pipes because I think they keep the speed just like the stone ones do, and they only have one output. So what I have here, I've got these items being sorted: coal, copper, and diamond. And I can have coal coming out of yellow here, so coal will come out to this one here. And you can see I've already got some of them pumped out into it. And let's see, I've got copper coming out of green, going into this distribution pipe. Let's say that I know I'm going to be putting a lot of copper into this main chest. I can say I want one going to black and one going to, that's dark blue, not purple. So dark blue here. It should be purple, but it looks blue to me. But I've got one going out to black, which is white in this texture pack, and one going out to purple, and none going out to yellow. If you forget to turn that to 0, it's going to send one back in the other direction, and you don't want that. Well, I guess it's going to send it back because there's nowhere else for it to come out. So make sure that's at 0, whichever the input is for the distribution pipe. And I've got the blue coming out straight to this chest. You can see that this metal plate here that I talked about earlier in this one, pipes coming, or items coming into it will only go out in the direction where the metal plate is not at. So it's going straight to the chest. And what's coming up to black, or white in this case, is coming up, and it's not going across, it's not going back, but going out this direction. And keep in mind that items can come into this pipe even though there's a plate in that area. It can still come in this direction. It just, once it's here, it will not go back that direction. Using a wrench, you can change these up. If I keep it like this, it's going to push it back this direction because there's nowhere else for it to go. So you want to make sure that's going in the direction you want, which I want to go to the chest. And you can see up here that I've got these doing the same thing. Actually, I think I could get away with just using a regular pipe here, but oh, false. Because if I have a regular pipe here, like the stone pipe, it'll push it in this direction. I want everything having its own chest. So this is what I have. I've got this sorted out like so. Let's go ahead and do that. Kind of shake it up a little bit. And because most likely what you want to do is just do a spaced click like this, and it'll push everything up there. That's something that I really like in Tekkit. So especially if you have a lot of the same items, you can just do a shift click. You can also do the same thing here. Shift click it up like that, and boom, it's there. Alright, let's turn that off. And let's turn this bad boy on. Like doing that, turns it on, and it's going to sort everything automatically. However, you saw that I put up a bunch of things that do not belong. So let's go ahead, and you see it's doing its job there. And when it gets to this gold pipe, which is being powered by redstone, it shoots it off. And it's pretty handy. I think you can put it back here, but I wanted to show you that how slow it goes and how fast it goes. Alright, we're going to use an advanced wooden pipe here. And we're going to do that. You can right click and with your bare hands, I believe. So these items are required. So if I want only diamonds, coal, and copper coming through, and I'm kind of doing a weird thing, I'm just trying to randomize it a little bit more. I only want those things coming in, so it's only going to pump these items out. Because if I let it keep going, it's going to pump all these items out as well using the regular red wooden pipe. It's going to come to here and it's going to clog it up and push it back, which is not something that you want to happen because if you get too many items in a pipe, it'll start pushing out. Now, granted, you can probably put 100 items in a pipe and it'll still be fine, but if you're just going to let it be fully automated, you want to make sure that everything is working nice and efficient. So if we now do that, it'll pump out only these items. So if I put that there, which is going to pump out those things first, it's going to skip that. It's only going to pull out the copper ore, coal, and diamond. And you can see what it can do. Watch the copper. So that copper went to there to that pipe. And what the distribution pipe is going to do is going to distribute them evenly, so every one is going to alternate between going to black and blue. However, I can set these different. I can set for every 2, it's going to send 2 to the bottom and then 2 to the top. Either way, it's 50-50, but it's going to send 2 in a row to that direction, to that chest. All right, moving on. This video is getting quite long, but this is a video of reference, so over everything that you can do in Tekkit, especially to start off. And also, this is going to be some end game stuff here, or I mean not end game, but it's what's required to get some of the end game stuff in equivalent exchange rather. I keep getting that wrong. All right, well, we have our glowstone thing here. It's called a that's weird. It is called an energy collector, and once it gets sun, it'll generate energy. By itself, it can generate energy on its own, but it can power an antimatter relay here, and so you can almost count the single digits there. These are just regular antimatter relays and energy collectors. Here, they're made with dark matter, and you can see the dark part on top. This produces energy quite a bit faster. You can see you can count the 10s, but not really the 1's place. And these are the Mark 3s. These are the Mark 2s. This is the Mark 3s, and you can see it's generating energy a lot quicker. And however, you can put energy collector on each side of this antimatter relay, and it's going to just make it that much faster. So you can see how fast it's going there. If I put one on this side, one over here, and then one on the bottom, that way I can still access this from the top, it's going to be produced quite quickly, which you can see here. This is what I use to charge my Klein Stars. I can click that, and then you can see it's generating quite quickly. This is using 5 energy collectors, Mark 3s, and then 1 Mark 3 relay. The relay just means the Mark 3 means it can store more, and I believe it does generate some energy by itself because faster. That makes some sense. And this is how I generate items. You've got your antimatter relays here. So you got 5 of them. They have 1 on the bottom here. I'm not going to break it, but trust me, there's 1 right there on the bottom. And this is a energy condenser. What it's going to do is generate whatever you have in your target slot. So right now I'm generating copper, and all I did was build this little flower, that as they call it here, and put that in target slot, and it just generated a bunch of them real quick. And then I have this being pumped out using BuildCraft to a teleport pipe. This is an additional pipes mod that goes with BuildCraft, and it's pumping. As you can see, it's going to frequency 10. Frequency 10 is down here. I've got that pumping into this little chest here, and I'll get to that in a minute. You've got this one. It's working at the same pace as the other one is. This is making sticky resin, and it's being pumped out, going to frequency 11. And I've got this one set to receive. Yes, it's frequency 11. It's pumping into this extractor. I believe I am losing some items here. It's I need to put some overclockers in. Overclock. Yeah, there we go. I think I can put 1, 2, 3 in. I'm gonna put 5 in. Put 6 in. 7, 8. We just put 8 in there. But it's going to push it out just as quick as it's going to make them. So that was my mistake.
but I'm using a steam engine here because with an extractor you get 3 rubber per sticky resin, and if it's being pumped out, if this is making it that quickly, a redstone engine cannot keep up. So I'm just using a steam engine to pump them all out. And you can see it's pumping them to this one, which I've connected to 12. And it's going to this chest. This gadget, probably one of my favorite ones in the game, is the automatic crafting table or crafting bench. You create the items you want. You don't take that, at least leave it there. What it's going to do, you can either pump the items in straight and hope that this can keep up, or you can just pump into the chest. To be honest, had I not had this chest here, I would be losing a lot of copper. It would be very inefficient. As you can see, I'm not keeping any rubber in here because I'm producing copper just as fast as I am rubber. Because ideally, you'd have 3 of those generators, or I guess you can have one copper generator to 2 rubber generators, and it would be even. So I'm making copper twice as fast as I am rubber, if that makes sense. And then using this redstone engine with the wooden pipe, I mean, every time it pumps one out, it's going to draw from these chests rather than what's going to come into here. If I did have the chest here, it'll automatically build up things in this little slot here. And you can see how much copper cables I'm making automatically. So instead of having to go to a crafting table and make them myself, it's making them for me. And this is working at a pace where you obviously won't be able to use them that quickly, but you do use a lot of copper cable, especially for solar panels, which you hopefully you will be able to see in my world within the next couple of episodes. I'm currently remodeling it. Alright, well, I do need to build a few more things. I want to make sure that we're covering everything, but let me catch up and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, we've got, this isn't automation stuff, but this is just basic industrial craft things. I know I kind of jumped a little bit ahead over there, and I apologize. You have your iron furnace. You build by doing this. Iron, burn, there we go. Let's see if I can hit R here. There we go. And you can build it by just a circle of iron, or by using 2 less iron, you can use a furnace. So if you're running low on iron but you want the iron furnace, there you go. What it's good for, it's more efficient. I think it's faster, and it's also a little bit more efficient. So it's I think it's worth using the iron earlier on to build that. You have a regular furnace here, which I was going to show you some sticky resin stuff. If you have sticky resin from a tree, you can put that in there, and I'll automatically turn it into rubber. And you'll need rubber with copper to make copper cables. So you make the rubber here. Yep, there it is there. And I have this automatic crafting table here, so I can just keep the recipes there. So you need a copper cable for making the RE battery, which is there. So if you type it into the search bar below in your inventory screen, RE-B, it'll come up with what you need for the recipe if you want to do that for a reference. And this is your RE battery. You have to make your furnace, of course, and then you have your machine block to make that, and then use the furnace, the RE battery, and the machine block to make a generator. This is one of the first things you'll need to make, I think, in BuildCraft, in Industrial Craft, in order to get things going. Let's go and put some coal into that. I think anything that burns will turn it into EU. So if we go ahead and put 2 there, it turns it on. I've got a copper cable coming out the back of that. Oh, sorry, false. Since it's connected to a bat box, it puts energy in here automatically. And I got this bat box connected in the output in the output, you see the green stuff there, you see the red one there. If you have a wrench, like so, you can move the output to other places. Oh, there's the wrench there, I was looking for it. If I click on this side, it'll make the output on that side, so whichever side you click on. What's cool, let's say that I want the output on the other side. Obviously I can't do that from that angle, so if I press shift and hit this, it'll send the output that direction. But I want it back over here, so I just hit that, and it's going to send it out into this copper cable, empowering these gadgets over here, which I'll explain now. You've got your extractor, hello, and that's how you make more rubber out of your sticky resin. One sticky resin will make 3 rubber in the extractor. If you place coal into a macerator, it'll turn it into dust. Let's go ahead and make ores. Let's say we have some iron ore. We want to turn it into dust. What's good about a macerator? Excuse me. What's good about macerator is going to double your efficiency. Let's go ahead and make that faster. Or double your output. So 1 iron ore will make 2 dust, and then you put that dust into a iron furnace or an electric furnace, which is what I have here. It's being really loud, but then you have your compressor. So if you have uranium ore here, you place that there, and it's going to turn into your refined uranium, which you can combine that with an empty cell, which you can make like this. At 10 in that angle there, you'll create your empty cell, 16 of them exactly. Combine that with those and any kind of inventory screen, and you have your uranium cell, and that's exactly what you need to run a nuclear reactor. Those are actually fairly easy to get once you have the uranium and you're able to make a compressor. Things you can do with the compressor, you can take that out to put some coal into that. I think we'll need 4. Let's go ahead and run this faster. Overclocker upgrades, they make it go faster at an expense to using energy. So you're actually wasting energy. You're wasting more energy by using them. But however, if you have energy to waste, why not use it? If you have everything connected up to solar panels, if you have everything hooked up to solar panels, you're going to regenerate that energy during the day. So let me get that energy back into that. Alright, we can do that. Alright, so if you put, I think, coal dust, is that correct? No. Coal dust here. You have your carbon fiber. We'll need 4 more there. And if you put 2 carbon fibers together, you will have, I believe, I can't remember what it's called. That raw carbon mesh. Gotcha. And you put that mesh into the compressor. There we go. That works. Carbon plate. And that's one of the basic materials you'll need to create your nano suit, which I'll show you right here. This is your nano suit. You have to have an energy crystal, which is a diamond surrounded in redstone. And you have your carbon plates. So 4 for a boot, 6 for leggings, 7 for chest plate or body armor, and then 4 for the helmet, and then you have to add a glass for that. Probably definitely an end game material here. You can see it's signified in the fonts that it's an enchanted item, because it's really what it is. The boots negate some of your fall damage. Leggings, when you press a boost, which I believe is control. I've got mine set up for caps lock. It makes you go 4 times faster. This pretty much makes you invincible. You can take a lot of damage, and then with the helmet you can breathe underwater, and also keeps your hunger bar at 1 under. So it doesn't completely fill you up, but you can still regenerate health. Which, if you have that on, you don't really need to regenerate health because you won't be losing it. I talked a little bit about Klein Stars earlier. You have your different sizes here. These can be very expensive to make, but you have your Klein Star Ein, and it can hold up to, say, 50? Yeah, 50,000. EMC. This will hold up to probably around 200,000, I believe. Yeah, 200,000. And you can make a Klein Star Ein by putting a diamond and surrounding it in Mobius fuel. And you get the Mobius fuel by building the Philosopher's Stone, which you can get by doing that. 4 redstone, 4 glowstone, 1 diamond. And you can get the Mobius fuel from getting 4 alchemical coals. You get those by putting 4 coal with a Philosopher's Stone. This is a shapeless crafting recipe, but you get the 4 coal to make one of these. Alright, let's backspace here. And so 4, 8, 12, 16 coal for 4 alchemical coals to make this. So this takes 16 coal. So if you hit backspace one more time, so 16 times 8, that's how much coal it takes to make 1 Klein Star Ein. However, once you start building these, you can, let's see, I want to go and charge that one up. Once you start building these, you can come over here to your Transmutation Tablet. This is one that you can put down on the stone or anything on the ground, and you can put the Klein Star Ein over here. You have your EMC level here, and for most things, or for everything vanilla and everything equivalent exchange, you can generate here. So let's say if I want to generate, I can't generate refined uranium, but I can generate iron dust with this Klein Star Ein here. I can now generate as much iron dust as I want, as long as I have the EMC values to hold it. Here I've got these here. I can, with the Klein Star Zwei, I want to say that's how you pronounce it, I could make another one of these. And then once I get 4 of those, I can make a Klein Star Veer. But as you can see, it's learned. I can make all of these things now because I learned it. You learn it by placing it into this area over here. So everything you get, you want to place here to make it learn it. And you can target that item by placing it into certain areas. So I can target coal, and because obviously there's more items in the game or in vanilla and equivalent exchange than you can put in this little area here. So if I want to generate some coal, let's say coal wasn't showing up here because coal has a value of, I think, 128 EMC, and everything here is above that. To target it, I can just hit that, and it's going to target that coal for me, and I can generate that coal. But you have to have one of those items to target. Let's see if I'm making some sense here. Yeah, you can't learn everything. Industrial Craft, BuildCraft, you can't build those items. So what you have to do is find a way, if you want to automate stuff, like for example, you can't generate coal. So you have to generate the sticky resin and then pump it over here into all this other stuff to make it coal. Actually, watch this. There we go. Or sorry, to make it a rubber. Alright. Let's see here. I believe that's it for all things I have here. I'm going to show you a few more things. Let me collect myself, and we'll be right back. Alright, I had a request for Nikolite. There's a lot of it, especially around bedrock, and you use that to create your blue alloy ingots, and you can make that by using a silver ingot and a Nikolite. So yes, there is a use for silver besides glass fiber cables. Let's see here, and then you need to use blue alloy ingots to make these, I believe. This is how you make the blue alloy wire, and no matter which color you use here, it's going to come out the same color. So that's how you connect solar panels for RedPower to a Blulectric furnace. So we need some blue alloy wire. We need the Blulectric. Yeah, there we go. So let's go ahead and create this real quick, show you what I'm talking about. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we just put these down here. They'll automatically connect. And then put this down here. And you can see that the levels are rising in the battery area. And this is the same function as this. So you can create your red alloy stuff. However, it's going to be running off of solar panels rather than coal and stuff. So it's all automated. You don't have to worry about wasting materials. So it's a renewable energy. And one last thing over here I want to show you. And these are the Industrial Craft cables. You saw me use the insulated copper cable earlier. But these are all in order of voltages that you can send through. This is the 10 cable, and you craft it like so. There's 3. It's a shaped, but you put it at the top or in the middle or bottom, and it creates 9 ultra low current cables. What that does, anything ultra low current is anything up to 5 EU per tick. So if you're not going to be sending much more than that through it, then this is really all you need. You don't lose a lot of EU using it, so you can run this for 20 to 40 blocks if you want to, and you're only going to be losing 1. However, you're only getting 5, so if you run it that far and you lose 1, you're losing a fifth of your power. Copper cable, you have your insulated and you have your single insulated, and that's all you have. If you don't insulate it, you will get shock damage every once in a while. For every 64 EU that passes through this copper cable, you will get 1 heart damage. I think that's a half a heart visually, because you actually have 20 hearts down in your health bar. You also have 20 hunger. It's not really a half. Visually, it looks like a half. All right. So that's how it's explained, because you lose a heart, but I think it's only half a heart visually. But you put a single rubber on that, single insulation, on that. Put rubber on it. There you go. Makes everything safe. You have your uninsulated copper cable. Craft using same way as using the 10, but it may only make 6. And you have your copper cable. You can craft it in those different ways. So if you only want 1, you can put 1 copper cable and 1 rubber, or you can just do it all together like this and make the 6 copper cable. I believe you saw me making those earlier in an automated factory over there. copper cables will transfer 32 EU per tick. These are the most common, but that's low voltage. So we've covered ultra low voltage and low voltage. Here's medium voltage for you. This is gold cable. You make this by doing the same way as we did tin, and then you insulate it in the same fashion as you do the copper. False. You have to make it using that. Yeah, you can do one like that, or you can put one gold ingot here and with 4 rubber around it, and it creates 4. And then to do the dual insulated, you have to just put 1 rubber with the already insulated gold cable, or just put 2 rubber with the uninsulated gold cable. I believe you will take some damage with a single insulated gold cable. You take a lot of damage with the gold uninsulated, but you're completely safe with a double wrapped gold cable. And here's the high voltage cable you make by using refined iron. So it's quite a bit more expensive, but I find this more. I find it easier to use, and not easier to use, but more. What am I trying to say? More efficient to make. There we go. Because you're making 12 of them rather than 6, but the thing is, you have to use more rubber to keep yourself safe. So if you have your uninsulated, single insulated, double insulated, and 3 times insulated. However, you'll see that it's labeled as 4 times. It's a mistake. You're not doubling on top of that. You already have. It's just 3 times. But either way it's worded, it keeps you completely safe. And these are your high voltage cables. They will transfer 512 EUs. The medium, the gold, will transfer 128 EUs per tick. And then this is what my favorite. If you can make them, great. If not, just use these 3 times insulated high voltage cables. But these will transfer up to extreme voltage, and that's 2048 EUs per tick. So you really only need them if you're transferring a lot of voltage, which if you use these solar panels over here, these are high voltage solar arrays, you will need them, because each one of those produces 512 per tick. So I think 4 of them transfers about 2,000 per tick. So whereas these solar panels only produce 1. And you make that glass fiber cable like so. That's an industrial diamond you can make by compressing a bunch of coal into diamonds. However, if you use silver, you get 6. So, well, for that, all that silver that you get and can't use it, this is the best use for it, in my opinion. Alright, solar panels, and then we're done. I was going to go ahead and get some of these things out. You can hook this up like so, and we can check this out, and we're making that much EU. These are MFSUs. These hold up to 10 million. These are the highest. These are the most you can store, or these are the highest level that you can store. However, when you send power out, like through this red area here, it will be high voltage power, so you can't put cables lower than high voltage cables on it. So in order to power your everyday things, like over here, you'll have to dumb it down to, not dumb it down, but from high voltage to medium voltage to low voltage. So you have to have 3 transformers over there. And I'll go back and show you how that works after we go through this. But this is the EU reader. You can see how you make it. 4 copper cables and electronic circuits, which you can make like so. Refined iron. You get your refined iron, by the way, by smelting iron ingots again. And then redstone there. And you get that. And then you're able to right click on a lot of things. So you can see that I'm making 1 EU per tick. So 1 times 9, I should be getting 9 per tick coming through this cable. And that's what I'm getting. So math hasn't failed me yet. Alright, so let's unhook this baby up. You see how much we're making here. Thousands are going up about just as fast as the hundreds were going up over here. So it's pretty good. And these make 8 EU per tick. And if you go down here, you can see I'm bringing 72 per tick versus 9. You make solar panels like so. They're pretty complicated to make. I don't want that. I want that. You have a generator that we explained earlier. You've got your electronic circuits that we just explained. Coal dust by macerating coal and glass to make 1 solar panel. To make one of these, you have to have a low voltage transformer. Let's do low. Let's just go and do solar panels altogether. Solar panels. Solar panels. There we go. Solar panels. If you're low voltage, bah, humbug. There we go. You have a low voltage transformer, which you make like so, surrounded in solar panels. So you have 8 solar panels. So theoretically, you're making this 8 times stronger for the amount of space that you're using. So 9 versus 72. So 9 times 8 gives you 72. And that's how that works. And that's that. Alright, let's connect this one. This is a medium voltage solar array. You can see that we're making a lot of EU. That's probably enough to run a factory of whatever you're running. Probably not enough to run a mass fabricator, but I'll let you research that on your own. Because if you're going that far, then I would suggest you read the wiki on that anyway. But you can see we're making 64 per unit, and then coming into this cable here, 576. So you can see we're going up exponentially. 72. So 9 versus 72 versus 576. So we're at 0 here. Watch how quick it goes up. Yeah, we're already. You can have ADD and you can wait for it to get to 1 million. We're at 1 million right now. So it's really fast. These are making 512 EU per tick, and so we're getting 5608 EU per tick. What's interesting to me is why these are able to carry that much, because these are only supposed to take 2048, which is extreme voltage. So I'm not really sure what's up with that. Maybe there's a difference between the tick that they define on the wiki and the tick that they define here. I don't know, but because I can do that, and so you can see 4 ticks. So what is it? 10 ticks per second? I'm not exactly sure. I just know that these are very, very expensive because you have to have 8 solar panels to make in a low voltage transformer to make 1 low voltage solar array. You have to have a medium voltage transformer and 8 low voltage solar arrays to make a medium voltage solar array. And then you have to have, you can guess, a high voltage transformer and 8 medium voltage solar arrays to make that. If you do the math, it's 512 solar panels per high voltage solar array, which that's why you get 512 EUs per tick. So if you're concerned about if you have a limited space but you want to make a lot of power, this is how you do it. I think, yeah, we're already full there. We're just at 2 million there. We're just at 400,000 there. and this pathetic little thing over here just past 60, almost 70,000. So we get 10 million in a time, but we can make probably 60 million over here, or sorry, 60,000 over here with the regular solar panels. But these are quite efficient. I've got, in my place, I've got 18 of these and a little over 100 medium voltage solar arrays. I make a lot of power, but I also use a lot of it too. Alright, I think I covered everything that I know of and that I use on a frequent basis that I think you should know about when starting Tekkit. If you have any questions about anything, I would suggest looking at the wiki. You can go to, you can just Google Tekkit Wikia, W-I-K-I-A, and it'll take you to the Tekkit Wiki. Wikia, I'm not sure what the exact website is, but you can search anything there. If you have further questions on that, and I will put a link to that below. If you have further questions on that, put them in the comments below, and I will make a video explaining it, if it needs one. Otherwise, I can just leave a comment explaining in text. But sometimes text is really hard to get across what we want to talk about. But you can see we're generating a lot of copper cables there already. We're about filled up on copper. And to stop this from going berserk, I'm just going to turn that off, and it stops pumping out. It's magic. I'm going to explain a little bit about these transformers here. This is a high voltage, medium voltage, and a low voltage. These are all high voltage solar arrays. I forgot to make the transformers match and everything, and I blew up this whole area here, because if you put anything high voltage into something that's not supposed to take that much, it's going to blow up, which is extremely unfortunate. So I just have this coming down the copper cable. The inputs will be the little shockwave there if you're using Sphax. I come down here, input into the medium voltage transformer, and then into the low voltage transformer, and it just comes out, and it all works magically. Alright, well, I think this is as much as we can do in Kansas, and I will see you next time. Hope this helped, and again, let me know if there's anything else that you would want to know about Tekkit. Bye.